This is the world's largest volcano, and this is what it looks like when it gets a little angry. But look at this steamy pool over here. What could be hotter than a volcano? Well, how about a volcano that makes electricity? Welcome to Laki, the largest volcano in Europe. Laki is located in Iceland, a country with a whopping 300 volcanoes. But don't worry, because unlike their ferocious neighbors in Italy, Italian volcanoes, Icelandic volcanoes are super chill. In fact, they're so chill that this one has a steamy pool on top of its crater. This pool is 239 degrees Celsius, which is 462 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to make your skin fall off if you were to take a dip. But how does this work? How can a volcano produce electricity? To answer that question, we went to the source. We drilled a hole into the volcano and then dropped a temperature sensor into it to see how hot it really was. And, well, this was the result. The temperature of the Earth's core is about 5,000 degrees Celsius, which is 9,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. Volcanoes are generally hot, but not all of them have enough energy to produce electricity. You see, some volcanoes like Krafla, which is right next door to Laki, don't have enough energy to produce electricity, so instead, they release their energy as steam. But every now and then, once every few hundred years or so, the pressure from the steam causes an explosion. When that happens, the energy from the steam causes an explosion. When that happens, the energy from the steam is released all at once, just like a pressure cooker. That's why every once in a while Lake Krafla erupts. But Laki is different. Instead of releasing all of its energy at once, Laki releases its energy as electricity. You see, deep inside the Earth, there's a lot of pressure. As you get deeper and deeper into the Earth, the pressure rises, and when that pressure is released, it creates an explosion. But if you can control that pressure, you can use it to generate electricity. That's what Laki does. The pressure from the steam is controlled and released in a way that generates electricity. So that's how Laki makes electricity. But how much electricity does it make? Well, the plant has been producing electricity since 1975, and it produces 25 megawatts of power, which is enough to power about 5,000 homes. There are only a few places in the world where you can harness the power of a volcano to make electricity, but Iceland has a lot of these places. In fact, Iceland has the world's largest geothermal power plant. It's called the Hellas Allandsvirkjun Geothermal Power Plant, and it produces 300 megawatts of power, which is enough to power about 80,000 homes. Volcanoes are awesome. They can produce electricity, they can create beautiful landscapes, and they can even help us get rid of carbon dioxide. In fact, there's a volcano in Hawaii that's helping scientists get rid of carbon dioxide. To learn more about that, visit our website,